Hey, Andrew Moore here. I have a Polaroid 800 land camera that I'm going to show you how to briefly use and put film in. So it's pretty simple to open up. Just press this button. This is a pull tab and it snaps into place. Now take the tab right here and pull forward until that snaps. And now it's in place. Bellows exposed, and the camera's pretty much set up. A few things to note. These are focus markings measured in feet to lens. So the closest you can take a picture is at 3.5 feet. It seems to go a little further, so you could do some guesswork. But the closest marking is 3.5 feet. The farthest marking is 50, and then infinity. A few things about this camera. There's a switch right there that says I on one side and B on the other. It's usually on I, but if you switch it to B, that is your bulb setting, so you can expose for however many seconds you hold the shutter release down. The shutter release is this lever here. Now, usually there's a few different types of films made for these. What I have today is a really old pack of 3000 speed roll film, type 47. You are able to set your shutter speed up at the top. There's also a mount here. I will link in the description when I find out what that's for. I think it's for a flash. I think that goes to the flash timer. However, there is a wire that goes to the flash mount if you have a mountable flash for the camera. So how to open the back. Typically when you have film in here, you would use this snap, which opens up and reveals your picture, which you could rip out. To actually load the film, you're going to take this lever, pull it out, and then the entire back is opened. One roll goes here, open it up, and the other roll goes here. If you find one of these, you may find an old reel of old Polaroid film in there. But now you see the bellows, and this is a great way to see if your camera is working or not. By opening up, looking right through the lens, and there you go, it's working. The shutter opens. So not a film loading. Buying old Polaroid film like this is tricky because most of it is expired and won't work. You can buy Polaroid film that's a few years old because Polaroid stopped making film in 2009. If you bought some original Polaroid film from 2009, it would still work. You'd get some interesting colored results. But using film this old, this is probably from the 60s, it's definitely a risk. This came with the camera, so I figured I would use it. Claims that it develops in 10 seconds, so we're going to open it up. It also comes with hefty instructions. Now I'm going to turn off my light here, just to give me a little more shade, just in case the film is still good. And it even says so to load the camera in shade. So, the roll film comes in 2 rolls. Positive and negatives, and they're both united together once they are snaking through the mechanism of the camera. I'm going to double check with these instructions. Basic warnings about the alkali substance treated on the film. And there we are. Type 47, do not break this seal. So now you have this leader tape, and the rest of the negative opens up here. Now it looks like the seal there is broken, so don't want to open that much further. I think this used to be a glued seal so that it didn't roll out any further. But you have instructions right on the back. So in order to load this, for filming's sake, it'll be easier if I close up the front of the camera so we can lie the camera on its surface. Which makes it a good opportunity for me to show you how to close the bellows. Very simple. There's a tab there. Just press it and push it back. To actually close the front of the camera, push down these two brackets and it will snap right into place. Back to film loading. Now you can even see in the instructions it's pretty clear how to roll it up. The negative goes where I pulled the other plastic roller out over here, and the positive roll goes in the larger side. So you're loading it like this. So that's all you're doing. And then drop that right over the top. Then this hangover tab pulls over like this. And it's going to hang out the side. You're going to pull this out once you close the back of the camera. Make sure all your rollers are functioning well. And now you can close up the camera. Make sure this is all the way, it opened. Make sure this is all the way retracted. You'll feel it grab and pull it tight shut. Now you're pulling this forward to advance the film. And then we pull until we see the stop insignia. And we'll tell you when to stop pulling the film out. There we go. That's what was holding me back. And there we go. And use this to basically rip off the excess. Now, in order to take a picture, just follow the basic instructions as we had before. Open the front of the camera, pull it into place. I am going to attempt to take a photo of a map that I have on the wall. So I'll be using the focusing dial. I know that this is really, really, really fast 3000 speed film. So I'm probably going to use a low shutter speed. Sorry, aperture. Technically this number on the top of the camera is your aperture because you can see the lenses changing as you're turning it. There are two lenses to look through. This is your range, so when you're framing your picture, and when you're focusing your picture, this is your view. For range, you're going to be lining up two images in the picture, and when those two images line up, depending on how much you focus, that is when your picture is actually in focus. So now my camera is focused up, and I have my frame. I'm ready to take this photo. And it's as simple as that. So now to develop the photo, when you open up the back, there is nothing to see. There's nothing to grab onto at all. So what you do, this button right here cuts your film. So click it to the side, it goes in both directions. Once you click it to the side, you've cut it, and you can advance the rest of the film. That's the rest of the scrap paper. There's the rest of the scrap. Now you can cut that off, and then when you see the end of your prints, you see the positive and the negative roll underneath. And when you go to develop the print and get it out of the back of the camera, you peel it apart. That would be the negative, and here is your positive. Once again, this film is probably 50 years old, so you're not going to get anything out of it, but that is how it works. Now it's the same layout for the 95, the 95A, the 95B, and I believe the 100, 150, and 700 as well. All roll film type cameras, they all follow that same format. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry that I don't have working film. I hope that you can find some, and I hope you enjoy your camera if you have one like this.